When you were building Mycopreneur and you were thinking about how you were going to do it, was it initially like a brand idea, or were you trying to create like a cultural platform? Um, and did you initially try and start with the satire, or was that something that you added in later?
The satire came later. So I've always been a psychonaut from day one. I think I was 17 when I had my first psilocybin mushroom experience. And I identified with the psychonaut crowd before that because, quite frankly, my early cannabis experiences were pretty psychedelic, pretty visual, close eyed visuals, geometric patterns, and all that. And so I knew there was something there. It was clear to me. And I did my research. I went to the library. This was literally before we regularly used the internet. Like I had it, but we had a computer lab at school. It wasn't like we all had the internet on our phones. So I remember going to the library and checking out books from like Yale ethnobotanists, from Mark Plotkin, I think was really one of my first points of entry. And then I discovered Arrowwood. And over the next couple of years, this was like circa 2005, 2006, around there, then I became increasingly infatuated with these visionary compounds, and more specifically from indigenous cultures around the world. Started reading about ayahuasca, started reading about Maria Sabina, and found Terence McKenna. And then, so that was over many years. And I went to school in San Francisco, which is kind of like ground zero for Western psychedelia and was a stone's throw from the Hate Street. So I kind of cut my teeth 2007 through 2012 living on the Hate and connecting with that whole legacy and learning about a lot more of these Western pioneers of psychedelics, which sent me down a million different roads. And then it was 2020 when I decided to launch Mycopreneur. So it was very much a pandemic project. I already had edited and produced media. I'd done podcasts for a couple well known international brands where I was kind of on the production side of them. Like, for example, Occidental College in LA for their diplomacy and world affairs department. So I had a sense of how to podcast, but I had never considered hosting a podcast. And even less so, I had never considered openly talking about psychedelics and mushrooms. But I sort of had the put two and two together moment, that aha moment where I was like, okay, it's more culturally acceptable now to talk about psychedelics. And that really happened in 2018, 2019. Going back to like 2012 through, that whole, there was nobody talking about, very, very few people talking about psychedelics outside of like a few, the who like Johns Hopkins researchers and